No, I could never be harsh to him, never." "There never was," he burst out in a sort of exultation, "there never was in the world such a betrayal. Do you remember once telling me that the only flaw you could find in the perfect symbolism of the Gospel story was that Jesus was betrayed by Judas, the foreigner from Kerioth, when he should have been betrayed by John, the beloved disciple? For it is only those we love who can betray us. Frank, how true, how tragically true that is! It is those we love who betray us with a kiss." He was silent for some time, and then went on wearily. "I wish you would speak to him, Frank, and show him how unjust and unkind he is to me." "I cannot possibly do that, Oscar," I said. "I do not know all the relations between you, and the myriad bands that unite you. I should only do harm and not good." "Frank," he cried, "you do know, you must know that he is responsible for everything, for my downfall and my ruin. It was he who drove me to fight with his father. I begged him not to, but he whipped me to it, asked me what his father could do, pointed out to me contemptuously that he could prove nothing, said he was the most loathsome, hateful creature in the world, and that it was my duty to stop him, and that if I did not, everyone would be laughing at me, and he could never care for a coward. All his family, his brother and his mother too, begged me to attack Queensberry, all promised me their support, and afterwards... You know, Frank, in the Café Royal before the trial, how Bosie spoke to you, when you warned me and implored me to drop the insane suit and go abroad, how angry he got. You were not a friend of mine, he said. You know he drove me to ruin in order to revenge himself on his father, and then left me to suffer. And that's not the worst of it, Frank. I came out of prison determined not to see him any more. I promised my poor wife I would not see him again. I had forgiven him, but I did not want to see him. I had suffered too much by him and through him, far too much. And then he wrote and wrote of his love, crying it to me every hour, begging me to come, telling me he only wanted me in order to be happy, me in the whole world. How could I help believing him? How could I keep away from him? At last I yielded and went to him, and as soon as the difficulties began, he turned on me in Naples like a wild beast, blaming me and insulting me. I had to fly to Paris, having lost everything through him, wife and income and self-respect, everything. But I always thought that he was at least generous as a man of his name should be. I had no idea he could be stingy and mean. But now he is comparatively rich, he prefers to squander his money on jockeys and trainers and horses, of which he knows nothing, instead of lifting me out of my misery. Surely it is not too much to ask him to give me 1/10 when I gave him all. Won't you ask him?" "I think he ought to have done what you want without asking," I admitted. "But I am certain my speaking would not do any good. He shows me hatred already whenever I do not agree with him. Hate is nearer to him always than sympathy. He is his father's son, Oscar, and I can do nothing. I cannot even speak to him about it." "Oh, Frank, you ought to," said Oscar. "But suppose he retorted and said you led him astray, what could I answer?" "Led him astray!" cried Oscar, starting up. "You cannot believe that. You know me better than that. It is not true. It is he who always led, always dominated me. He is as imperious as a Caesar. It was he who began our intimacy. He who came to me in London when I did not want to see him. Or rather, Frank, I wanted to, but I was afraid. At the very beginning I was afraid of what it would all lead to, and I avoided him. The desperate aristocratic pride in him, the dreadful bold imperious temper in him terrified me. But he came to London and sent for me to come to him, said he would come to my house if I didn't. I went, thinking I could reason with him, but it was impossible. When I told him we must be very careful, for I was afraid of what might happen, he made fun of my fears and encouraged me. He knew that they'd never dare to punish him. He's allied to half the peerage, and he did not care what became of me. He led me first to the street, introduced me to the male prostitution in London. From the beginning to the end he has driven me like the Aestrum, of which the Greeks wrote, which drove the ill-fated to disaster. And now he says he owes me nothing. I have no claim. I, who gave to him without counting. He says he needs all his money for himself. He wants to win races and write poetry, Frank, the pretty verses which he thinks poetry. He has ruined me, soul and body, and now he puts himself in the balance against me and declares he outweighs me. Yes, Frank, he does. He told me the other day I was not a poet, not a true poet, and he was. Alfred Douglas greater than Oscar Wilde. I have not done much in the world, he went on hotly. I know it better than anyone, not a quarter of what I should have done. But there are some things I have done which the world will not forget, can hardly forget. If all the tribe of Douglas, from the beginning, and all their achievements were added together and thrown into the balance, they would not weigh as dust in comparison. Yet he reviled me, Frank, whipped me, shamed me. He has broken me. He has broken me, the man I loved. My very heart is a cold weight in me." And he got up and moved aside, with the tears pouring down his cheeks. "Don't take it so much to heart," I said in a minute or two, going after him. "The loss of affection I cannot help, but 100 or so a year is not much. I will see that you get that every year." "Oh, Frank, it is not the money. It is his denial, his insults, his hate that kills me. The fact that I have ruined myself for someone who cares nothing, who puts a little money before me. It is as if I were choked with mud. Once I thought myself master of my life, lord of my fate, who could do what I pleased and would always succeed. I was as a crowned king till I met him, and now I am an exile and outcast and despised. I have lost my way in life. The passers-by all scorn me, and the man whom I loved whips me with foul insults and contempt. There is no example in history of such a betrayal, no parallel. I am finished. It is all over with me now, all. I hope the end will come quickly." And he moved away to the window, his tears falling heavily. End of chapter 25. Recording by Martin Geeson in Hazelmere, Surrey.